It's Thursday, means it's time for a BTC fishing report. Dun, 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 dun. All right, it's Thursday, July 11th, and that means it's time for another BTC fishing report. Let's go ahead and get first things first out of the way. Everybody wants to talk about it. It's the weather. So obviously I'm reporting to you today from the BTC Worldwide headquarters, AKA my couch, okay? And that's where I expect to be all weekend. In fact, let's get an official update from the BTC meteorology team. What's the weekend forecast look like?
It's gonna be nasty.
Oh, all right. So it's gonna be nasty. That's the official forecast. The definition of nasty, though, it kind of keeps changing. It's definitely going to be windy. We're talking winds anywhere 25, 35 knots probably. It's going to be enough to more than likely keep you off the water all weekend. The rain kind of expectations kind of fluctuate. So expect anywhere from 3 to 5 inches, maybe more, depending on where the storm makes landfall. They're saying some areas could get localized rainfall of up to 20 inches, which would be crazy. New Orleans had 8 inches yesterday morning alone, so they already got a little preview of what could happen. All right, so one thing though, just keep an eye on it. It's a fairly minor storm, possibly a category 1 when it makes landfall, but it's very hard for these models to accurately predict weaker and less organized storms, so it's worth watching. Believe it or not, it's really the rain is a bigger event than the hurricane right now, just because we're already dealing with a high river situation and levees being stressed out all year long from the flooding in the river. So it's definitely something that could cause a lot of problems if it gets out of hand. So keep an eye on that and use good judgment if you do try to sneak out and fish. All right. So speaking of fishing, let's go right to it. I told y'all last week, 4th of July, that I was going to spend a lot of time at Chandelier this week, and I did make it out there. And the speckled trout bite was pretty good, except in the heat of the day, I struggled to find fish. But early and late, and when there was good tidal movement, I was able to find fish at the main island. I was able to find fish around Freemason, Curlew, grass flats, deeper pockets, everything we tried produced fish, top waters, plastics, all the different techniques, popping corks, depending on where we were. So everything worked fairly well, and we had a really good time. We were chased in by some weather though. Also fished around Cat Island this week, and I gotta tell you, just after the 4th, like say the 6th, was some of the prettiest water I've seen all year around Cat Island. It was absolutely gorgeous. All right. What else did we do this week? We fished a lot of triple tail around the Louisiana Marsh and Mississippi Sound, and we were able to find a lot of fish early in the week, and later in the week I struggled to find as many fish. The water around those areas got a little dirtier with all this wind and thunderstorms, and I just wasn't having the same amount of luck. With triple tail, it's hard to say that that's a trend. I might just not have seen them that day. I like to sight fish them, so keep that in mind. There's also been a lot in the last week of bull redfish action south of the islands. So if you've never done that, you can see these schools of redfish come up to the surface occasionally, and it can be acres and acres of bull redfish. The water just turns copper. So what are we looking for when we're doing that? We're looking for what we call rain minnows or red minnows, and it's a small, almost like a glass minnow, but it's more of a reddish color, and it makes the surface of the water look like it's raining. There's so many of them. Around these and in these minnows, you're going to find huge schools of redfish, bonita, blacktip sharks, jack crevalle, Spanish mackerel, just about anything that swims, and these big redfish as well. Trolling for them is the primary way they're caught. They will stay on the bottom when they're not up. They're still there. But if you can catch those redfish on top, they'll hit anything you throw at that school. It doesn't really matter. It's going to get eaten. So keep your eyes peeled for that. If you see a lot of commotion on the water, run over and check it out, and you may get lucky and see one of these things. If you've never done it, it's absolutely amazing. All right, I'm also hearing good things about Ship Island and Horn Island still catching good speckled trout. So that's still going on. And inshore, guys, the white trout and ground mullet bite has still been on fire. So everywhere from Ocean Springs, say Keesler Reef, all the way over to the Louisiana marsh. If you've got a white trout ground mullet hull, I would go check it out with some fresh cut bait, or take you a bag of dead shrimp, and then once I catch the first one, I'll turn him into cut bait, because I just do better on cut bait. It lasts longer, and I seem to catch more fish. So there's all those things going on. Seeing some decent black drum being caught off the piers. Once again, I'm not here to advise you on what's safe to eat and what's not. Technically, we're still under a closure. From my non-scientific point of view, the water looks better than it's looked all year. When the water looked a lot worse, nobody seemed to care, and there were no closures. And now that the water looks good and the salinity's up, so I don't know. Use your best judgment, exercise caution, and do what you feel is right. So remember, I'm just a lowly fisherman. So guys, that's the report for this week. If you have any questions, go ahead and make a comment. Don't forget to subscribe. Hit the subscribe button. Please share the video, and we'll keep doing these. And since I'm going to have a little downtime this weekend, I said I was going to put a video up with my 3 favorite bait rigs. I've already made the videos. I just have to edit it together, and it sounds like I'm going to have time to do that tomorrow. So be on the lookout for that video. 3 favorite bait rigs for a charter captain. All right? Until next week, stay safe.